Hi guys, great to have you here again. Finding a good psychological thriller can be harder than it should be. Some focus on murder cases, some trap people in difficult places, and others leave you questioning what you just watched. In this video, I'm counting down 18 best psychological thriller movies to watch in 2026, available across Prime Video, Tubi, and more. The list includes crime mysteries, psychological horror, survival stories, and a few unusual films that deserve more attention. Number 18. Nefarious. Two men sit in a sterile room, playing a high-stakes mental chess game where a human life hangs in the balance. A psychiatric doctor must judge if a serial killer is legally sane before the state applies the death penalty. The twist comes from the chair, where the inmate insists a dark spirit runs his body and genuinely wants the execution to happen. Sean Patrick Flanery handles the role of the inmate, delivering a chilling performance that flips between a shivering prisoner and a venomous presence. Sean Patrick Flanery is the reason this psychological thriller holds together so well for me. He gives the inmate several different shades without turning the performance into a simple display of anger. I would recommend it to viewers who enjoy actor-driven films set in one main location. Number 17. La Llorona. Protesters pack the streets outside a heavily guarded mansion, trapping an aging Guatemalan general who escaped punishment for historical atrocities through a legal loophole. This intense public siege triggers a claustrophobic psychological horror thriller inside the residence, where the family's daily routine completely collapses. The compound becomes an isolated fortress, fueled by dense paranoia and growing panic. Maria Mercedes Coroy plays Alma, a mysterious indigenous servant who enters the home to assist the remaining family members. Following her arrival, unexplainable events plague the property, marked by chilling sounds of weeping that echo through the dark corridors. The household faces a sudden, unseen presence that defies any logical explanation. Maria Mercedes Coroy makes Alma difficult to forget. I liked how much the film allows her presence to speak through small actions instead of constant explanation. This psychological horror thriller is a good choice for viewers who enjoy serious international horror. Her work adds mystery without depending on loud reactions. Number 16. Black Coal, Thin Ice. Liao Fan plays an alcoholic factory guard who was forced off the police force years ago after a botched shootout left his partners dead and him deeply traumatized. That bloody incident happened while investigating a bizarre case involving severed limbs discovered in coal shipments. When similar body parts start appearing in the freezing northern district again, the disgraced ex-cop chooses to pursue the killer on his own. His independent investigation leads him straight to a quiet woman employed at a local laundry shop. A dark pattern emerges, showing that multiple men who courted her over the years ended up butchered. To find the truth, he begins tailing her through the bleak winter landscape, trying to understand what connects her to this horrific trail of violence. The winter locations are a major reason I remember Black Coal, Thin Ice. This psychological crime thriller has a hard, drained look that fits the murder case and the people connected to it. Viewers who like bleak detective films should give it time. The visual choices make the city feel like part of the investigation. Number 15. Trap. A giant pop concert becomes a massive dragnet. Federal agents lock down a stadium, sealing the doors to catch an elusive target hidden among thousands of fans. The central figure is a father who brought his kid to the show, but he hides a massive secret that puts him directly in the crosshairs. The entire event is a giant puzzle where a single wrong move means immediate capture. Josh Hartnett carries the tension, putting on a fake smile to keep his daughter calm while his eyes scan for exits. Ariel Donahue plays the teenage daughter with zero knowledge of the danger around her. Seleka Shyamalan anchors the background as the on-stage pop star whose performance keeps the crowd in place during the sting operation. Josh Hartnett surprised me with how much he communicates through small changes in his face. This psychological thriller depends heavily on his ability to look friendly while thinking several steps ahead. It is a good pick for a quick, high-concept watch. I noticed his performance most during the moments when he says very little. Number 14. Foe. Junior and Hen manage a dusty, isolated homestead as environmental decay ruins the land. Their repetitive daily routine gets disrupted when an aerospace government representative knocks on their door. This official announces that Junior has been selected to leave Earth to work on a major orbital space station. To ensure Hen has assistance during the long separation, the agency prepares to supply a synthetic substitute. This strange arrangement introduces instant friction into the home as the departure date approaches. The couple must endure constant observation from the official, who studies Junior's habits to program the replacement. This dynamic brings hidden marriage problems to the surface. The film's production design does not try to turn the future into a giant action world. Instead, this psychological sci-fi thriller keeps the technology close to one isolated home. I like that smaller scale, even though the pace may feel slow. The limited setting also keeps the focus on the people, instead of expensive effects. Number 13. Stir of Echoes. Kevin Bacon steps into the shoes of Tom Witzke, a blue-collar lineman who jokingly agrees to be hypnotized at a suburban block party. The experience unexpectedly unlocks a latent psychic sensitivity, leaving him susceptible to jarring supernatural glimpses of a missing local teenager. This psychological horror thriller centers on an ordinary family man forced to grapple with sudden, intrusive visions that completely disrupt his daily life. The plot examines a rapid psychological decline as these persistent mental images strain his marriage and alter his personality. Bacon brings an authentic, high-energy desperation to the role, conveying the sheer exhaustion of a character unable to filter out the paranormal signals. As he tries to make sense of the erratic clues, the investigation pushes him to look much closer at the dark undercurrents running through his community. The film takes a little time before its mystery reaches full force, but that pace suits the change in Tom's behavior. This psychological horror thriller is a good match for viewers who prefer a family story with their ghost mystery. The wait gives the later discoveries more room to affect the main character. Number 12. Don't Torture a Duckling. An insular village in southern Italy faces a wave of terror when a phantom strikes the local youth. As fear spreads, many villagers abandon reason and turn towards superstition and scapegoating, hunting down anyone who breaks their traditional social codes. The local anxiety morphs into a dangerous frenzy, creating an environment where bias dictates blame instead of facts. Tomas Milian stars as Andrea Martelli, a sharp journalist from Rome who steps into the chaotic town to find the truth. Working alongside a wealthy, cynical woman, he bypasses the rumors to systematically analyze the crimes. His logical methods directly challenge the guarded secrets of the defensive community, putting him at odds with a population desperate for quick closure. The most effective part of this psychological crime thriller is the village reaction to the murders. I found the search for someone to blame more disturbing than a standard detective puzzle, because the whole community becomes involved. That choice makes the film feel uncomfortable in a way that simple clues cannot. Number 11. The Medium. A documentary crew travels to a remote Thai village to film a local medium named Nim, played by Sawani Utuma, who serves an ancestral family deity. What begins as a routine observation of regional spiritual heritage shifts drastically when Nim's young niece displays erratic, deeply unsettling behavioral shifts. The family assumes it is a spiritual awakening, but the escalating hostility and emotional decay suggest a much darker, internal fracturing. This psychological thriller grounds itself in a raw, found-footage style, forcing the audience to question the boundaries of belief and mental deterioration. I like the way the film gives local spiritual traditions real attention before the horror takes over. This psychological thriller is a strong pick for viewers who want possession horror connected to family and culture. The cultural setting gives the film a character of its own. Number 10. Let Us Pray. The strongest part of Let Us Pray is its use of one location. This psychological horror thriller spends most of its time inside a remote Scottish police station, where a rookie officer begins a night shift and soon has to deal with a prisoner called Six. The plot stays simple, but the people inside the station carry enough secrets, fear, and bad choices to keep the night uncomfortable. Liam Cunningham gives Six a strange and unsettling presence without explaining too much about him. The movie mixes supernatural horror with crime and religious themes, while the limited setting keeps attention on the people trapped inside. It reveals very little about Six before the story moves forward, so watching it without reading the full plot is the best choice. I enjoyed the moral side of this film more than its action scenes. Let Us Pray uses a small police station to examine guilt and punishment, making it a good choice for fans of dark supernatural thrillers. The confined setting gives the moral ideas a sharp edge. Number 9. Still of the Night. Dr. Sam Rice, a successful Manhattan psychiatrist, is drawn into a dangerous mystery when one of his patients is murdered. The victim's enigmatic mistress, Brooke Reynolds, soon enters Rice's life, leaving him caught between professional boundaries, police suspicion, and his growing attraction to a woman who may know more than she reveals. As disturbing dreams and troubling clues begin to complicate the case, Rice decides to investigate the murder himself. His search takes him through the victim's personal and professional circles, including New York's art auction world, while increasing pressure makes it clear that someone wants the truth to remain hidden. Still of the Night has an old-fashioned murder mystery design that I found appealing. This psychological mystery thriller gives the psychiatrist a personal reason to keep examining a case that should have stayed outside his office. The film has a different rhythm from modern thrillers, and that gives it some charm. Number 8. Inland Empire. Laura Dern plays Nikki Grace, a Hollywood actress who accepts a role in a new film and soon discovers that it is a remake of an unfinished Polish production surrounded by a disturbing history. As filming begins, the boundaries between the script, Nikki's performance, and her own identity start to blur. The result is a surreal psychological mystery that moves through shifting locations, fragmented memories, and unstable layers of reality. Rather than following conventional timeline logic, Inland Empire immerses the viewer in a hallucinatory maze where scenes, characters, and performances echo one another in unsettling ways. I understand why some viewers may find this psychological thriller too long and too unclear. It asks for more patience than most films on this list. Still, the strange images and repeated ideas make it worth seeing for people interested in experimental filmmaking. Number 7. The Frozen Ground. In the frozen wilderness of Alaska, a teenage survivor escapes from a serial killer and provides investigators with a crucial lead in a case involving numerous missing women. Alaska State Trooper Jack Halcombe becomes determined to connect the evidence and expose a seemingly respectable local man whose hidden life may be far darker than anyone suspects. Nicolas Cage plays Halcombe as a determined lawman facing skepticism, institutional obstacles, and the pressure of stopping another potential victim. As he works to build a case, the investigation becomes a tense contest between a predator protected by his public reputation and the officer trying to prove what lies beneath it. The real case behind the frozen ground gives the psychological crime thriller a serious purpose. It's refreshing to see how the investigation depends on connecting testimony, evidence, and persistence, instead of finding one quick clue. That makes the film accessible to true crime viewers. Number 6. Tom Wells is a private investigator who specializes in discreet assignments for wealthy clients. His latest case comes from a widow who has discovered an unsettling reel of film among her late husband's belongings. She hires Wells to determine whether the apparent snuff film is real or fake, but his search soon draws him into a dangerous underground world, far removed from his ordinary life. Nicolas Cage plays Wells as a seemingly conventional man whose investigation gradually exposes him to increasingly disturbing people and situations. As he follows the trail behind the film, he must navigate secretive producers, criminal figures, and a hidden subculture that challenges his assumptions about morality and society. This is easily one of the hardest films on the list to recommend casually because its subject matter is so deeply, inherently disturbing. It is not the kind of movie you put on for a fun Friday night or a relaxed evening. However, beneath its grim exterior, this psychological thriller possesses a profound sense of purpose that elevates it far above standard shock value. There is a deliberate, haunting message behind the darkness it explores. It is a brilliant, gripping piece of cinema, but it demands a lot from the viewer and leaves a heavy, lasting impression long after the credits roll. Number 5. Aftermath. In a Polish village, Józef Kalina's unusual actions make him a target of suspicion and hostility. His brother Franciszek returns from the United States after years away and finds the family divided, the neighbors unwilling to speak openly, and Józef involved in something he cannot easily explain. Maciej Stuer plays Józef Kalina. The film keeps its central mystery close to the brothers and their connection to the village. As Franciszek tries to understand the change in Józef, he begins to question the stories people have accepted about their family and their home. Aftermath works as a psychological thriller through doubt, social pressure, and a painful search for truth, while also Number 4. Cure. Detective Kenichi Takabe investigates a series of disturbing murders that appear to be connected by the same chilling pattern. In each case, an ordinary person commits a brutal act and then claims to have no memory of what happened. The investigation leads Takabe to an enigmatic drifter and former psychology student whose unsettling influence may connect the seemingly unrelated crimes. As Takabe attempts to understand the pattern, the case becomes an increasingly disturbing challenge to his sense of logic and control. Koji Yakusho brings a weary intensity to the role, portraying a detective struggling to protect his own mind while confronting an influence that resists ordinary explanation. My personal take is that Cure uses the shape of a police mystery, but refuses to behave like a normal police mystery. I liked that uncertainty because it keeps the case open to more than one reading. This psychological thriller is stronger for viewers who enjoy disturbing questions over clear explanations. That detail gives the psychological thriller a clear identity beyond its basic premise. Number 3. Proxy. One terrible night changes Esther Woodhouse's life. Alexia Rasmussen plays a pregnant woman who suffers a violent attack while returning home from a medical appointment. Afterward, Esther joins a support group for mothers dealing with loss, hoping to find help from people who understand her pain. Her contact with the group introduces new questions about the people around her and the reasons they attend. Esther tries to rebuild her daily routine, but the people she meets do not always behave as expected. Small details, personal stories, and unusual choices make it harder for her to understand who is being honest. The film keeps its main turns hidden while following her search for stability and clear answers. From a viewer's perspective, I would tell anyone watching Proxy to read as little as possible before pressing play. The less information you have, the more effective the psychological horror thriller becomes. Its main strength is the way it keeps changing your view of the people involved. The result has enough personality to stand apart from familiar psychological thrillers. Viewers who enjoy unusual choices will probably get the most from it. Number 2. The Menu. An exclusive restaurant on a private island promises a meal that only a select group of guests can experience. Margot joins Tyler for the reservation, but she soon notices that the guests and staff are following rules that were never explained to her. The chef has prepared a carefully arranged evening, and the diners slowly realize that their presence at the table has a purpose beyond fine dining. Anya Taylor-Joy plays Margot, the only guest who does not fit comfortably into the group. Her direct questions and sharp observations place her at odds with the strange standards inside the restaurant. Around her, wealthy diners protect their own interests, while the staff carries out the chef's plan with complete discipline. The island setting leaves the guests far from normal help, adding to the pressure inside the dining room. For my part, Anya Taylor-Joy gives Margot a direct, alert quality that makes her stand out from the people around her. I enjoyed watching her study the room and react to its rules. This psychological thriller needs that point of view to keep the dinner grounded. Number 1. The Secret in Their Eyes. A retired investigator starts writing a novel about a murder case that has remained unresolved for decades. Ricardo Darín plays Benjamin Esposito, a man who returns to the records of a young newlywed's killing and finds that the old file still holds unanswered questions. His work takes him back to people connected to the case, including a former colleague who remembers the investigation from the start. The story moves between the original inquiry and the later search for a clear account of what happened. Esposito studies witness statements, past decisions, and details that were never fully explained. His return to the case also brings him face to face with choices from his own past, adding a personal layer to the criminal investigation. 2 time periods give The Secret in Their Eyes a wider emotional and dramatic range than a standard crime mystery. The past provides the unanswered case, while the later period shows how strongly that case has affected the people connected to it. This psychological mystery thriller takes the number 1 position because its investigation has personal meaning, strong character work, and enough detail to stay interesting beyond the basic search for answers. That's the list. These movies cover murder investigations, psychological horror, crime mysteries, survival stories, and some very unusual situations. A few are easy to find on Prime Video or Tubi, while others may be available through rental or other streaming services, depending on your region. Which movie from the list have you watched, and which one would you add? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoy finding dark and underrated thrillers, subscribe for more movie recommendations. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.